Hello, I'm Austin Heyman. Welcome to Seniors Today, a monthly program produced by the Commission on Aging and devoted entirely to issues and interests of Montgomery County seniors. This month we discuss safety issues with seniors and learn about an organization promoting the history of Montgomery County. But first, the National Institute on Aging oversees over $2 billion a year in aging research. And my first guest co-chairs two Department of Health and Human Services Healthy People 2020 objectives. One for older adults, and the second for issues of dementias including Alzheimer's disease. She is Dr. Marie Bernard, the Deputy Director, National Institute on Aging at NIH. And Dr. Bernard, welcome to Seniors Today.
Thank you.
Well, I read a little bit about you. You have a long career in geriatric medicine, which is somewhat new field. You were chair of the department, I think, in the University of Oklahoma before you came to NIA.
Yes, I was.
And now you oversee a huge amount of research. Tell us a little bit about those priorities.
So the National Institute on Aging was designed back in the 70s to pursue research in aging processes, all the way from very basic research through to neuroscience, behavioral and social research, and clinical issues related to aging. And we have priorities in each of those areas. It's an exciting time to be in the field.
And one of them is, answers the question, how do you live to be 100?
Well, that's certainly part of what we are looking at.
Longevity.
Longevity. We have some really interesting basic research in animal models that has demonstrated that you can manipulate lifespan, not only by changing around the genes of these animals, but changing around, what they eat or how much they eat. And we're also looking at that at the human level, not only the sorts of things that have been done in the animals, but from the various population studies that we've had, looking at people and how they age over the course of time. And we've learned from those studies, not only those funded by the National Institute on Aging, but across NIH, that there are a number of things that can promote a healthy lifespan and a longer lifespan.
So I suspect some in the audience, including me, would like to know what are those secrets.
Okay, so there are several, and of course, choosing the right parents. We don't have a lot of control over that, and fortunately, genetics don't determine necessarily one's destiny fully. It plays a role, but not fully. It looks, clearly not smoking or giving up smoking if one has been a smoker. Even if you're well into what's considered to be older age, giving up smoking can be a beneficial sort of thing. And then other sorts of things, recurrently, study after study seems to be demonstrating that things like exercise can make a real difference. At the very basic molecular level, we're seeing what the changes are in cells that are fostered by exercise. At the population level, those people who exercise tend to have less in the way of cardiovascular disease, less in the way of disability than people who did not, and often live longer, less in the way of diabetes. So if there's anything that might be that fountain of youth, exercise is one of them.
And I think your agency has a project Go for Life.
We have,
which is on you have a website.
We have a website.
What is the website?
It's nia.nih.gov. So National Institute on Aging National
So they
Institutes
can find
of
about the Go for Life there. Yeah.
Go for Life, yes.
Yeah. So I suspect nutrition is on your list.
Nutrition is on the list. Basically eating a healthful diet so that you can keep your weight in reasonable range. And as you get older, it's not only weight, but how the body is configured. You want to make sure that you have good muscle mass. And that's something that requires eating a healthful diet and, again, exercising. And we have information also on our website about that sort of thing.
What about engagement in activities? How does that fit in?
Engagement in activities appears to be very important. Having a network of interactions with other humans, those people who have large networks, that seems to be associated with better quality of life, longer length of life than those people who have very small networks. In fact, in some studies that have been done of centenarians, the one thing that seems to be a consistent factor across all of them is not whether they smoked or drank or whatever, but that they have a seeming purpose for their life, that they're engaged in some fashion. So that's an important thing to consider. It certainly enhances quality of life.
I remember reading about a study that was done by Johns Hopkins on the Experience Corps, which is a mentoring program, and I was startled when I had stuck in my head, it's done some years ago, people fall less who were mentoring?
Yes.
How is that possible?
So, the Experience Corps is a project where older adults were partnered with children in the public schools in Baltimore County. And it was found to be something that was mutually beneficial for the older adults. They were, again, more engaged, they were more physically active, they were more mentally stimulated, and yes, they had better health outcomes, such as that. For the children, they had better school performance, and they got into trouble less. So it's a wonderful program that hopefully will get replicated across the country.
We do have some intergenerational programs in the county that I was involved with. So let's move on to the issue of preventing Alzheimer's. People are really concerned about Alzheimer's. Where are we with that story?
So there is a national plan for Alzheimer's disease. There's something called the National Alzheimer's Project Act that was signed into law in January of 2011. It called for a plan to be developed. By 2012, that plan was delivered as per law. It has 5 components to it, and one of them is a research component to find a prevention or a cure by 2025. Since we lead on the behalf of NIH Alzheimer's research, our scientists were very nervous about that because you can never promise that something's going to happen by a certain date. You never know how scientific experiments are going to really play out. But I can certainly say as a geriatrician that if ever we were positioned to be able to meet that goal, we are there. 20 years ago, in order to make a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, you had to have an autopsy. Now we have imaging techniques, we have spinal fluid tests that we can do that can tell us years in advance of a person developing symptoms that they are likely to develop Alzheimer's. And we have 24 different genes now that we know are associated with Alzheimer's. 20 years ago, we only had 3. And we have a lot of really smart people nationally and globally who are pursuing this. And very grateful to the taxpayers. We've had an increase in budget to allow us to pursue these things. So again, we can't guarantee, but there's a lot that's promising. There are a lot of interventions that are being tried, and we'll see.
So are there any clues about even delaying the onset of Alzheimer's?
So again, there are a number of promising interventions that are being tried, dietary interventions, exercise again, cognitive stimulation. Unfortunately, there's nothing at the level of high quality evidence to say that any of these sorts of things is going to make a difference. But they certainly can't hurt. And they're helpful for overall health. So we encourage people to do all those things in spite of the fact that we do not yet have the high quality evidence. And we're certainly going to pursue that. In fact, we've asked a couple of agencies, the Agency for Health Research and Quality and the National Academies, to come together and give us some advice as to how we get to the point that we have that high quality evidence.
Now, you were a geriatric doctor by training.
Yes.
And I recall hearing Dr. Butler speak years ago about the absence of geriatric training for doctors. Has that changed?
That has changed. There's still opportunity for further enhancement, but very much as a benefit of Dr. Butler's interventions, there are now departments of geriatric medicine across the United States. There are only only a dozen or so, but still, they're there. 120 or more medical schools, so there needs to be more. There has been geriatric content infused into the curricula of medical schools. The Health Resources Services Administration is doing training in geriatrics, so there's more than there was 20 years ago, but there's still opportunity for further enhancement.
So as an older person, it's sort of reassuring to have somebody who's trained, from my perspective. Do you agree with that?
I think that there is a special role that a person trained in geriatrics can provide for a healthy person like yourself. You probably don't need my skills. You need my skills should you become very frail and dependent. And you'd want that geriatric expert to be part of the team that's consulting in your care. And you'd want that geriatric expert to be sharing their knowledge with other specialists. And there's a lot of effort along those lines these days.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all of this information. It's wonderful to have you on.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
When we return, we'll explore safety issues, particularly for county seniors, so please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Looking for a way to get around downtown Silver Spring? Hop on the Route 28 Van Go Free Circulator. The Route 28 Van Go Free Circulator provides rides Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to midnight and Friday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Fast, convenient, and free. There's no better way to get around downtown. To find out more information about the Route 28 Van Go Free Circulator, including route information, visit us online or dial 311.
In Montgomery County, we have a goal to reduce waste and recycle 70% of all waste by 2020. By recycling and reducing waste, we save natural resources and make our community even better. So recycle at home, work, school, everywhere, and keep recycling going. For more information, call the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling.
Keep it going.
Recycle more now.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to Seniors Today. One of the most troubling issues concerning seniors pertains to safety. And joining me to tell us about a new initiative is Lieutenant Jamie Baltrotsky, the Program Manager of the Non-Emergency Intervention and Community Care Coordination for the county's Fire and Rescue Service. Well, welcome to Seniors Today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we have a new initiative in the county. Tell us a little bit about this.
We do. So it's called Montgomery County Non-Emergency Intervention and Community Care Coordination, long name. So we call it MCNIC. And the goal of the program is typically to target frequent users of our 911 system and also vulnerable adults that we may come across while we're running 911 calls.
So people who call 911 4 or 5 times in the course of a year would trigger this.
Yes.
So what happens?
Well, so we have a referral process from our field paramedics, and they send information into us. We do a little research on that particular patient, and then we'll call them, introduce ourselves, and ask if it would be okay if we came out to talk to them in their home when it's not an emergency, not a non-emergent situation, and see if there's different resources within the county that we can connect them to that they might not be aware of.
Such as what kind of resources are we talking about?
Well, Montgomery County, as you know, has many resources. We're very fortunate. And so we have things that we can do to connect patients with a primary care provider if they don't have them, if they don't have a primary doctor. We also have relationships with a physician that can do home visits for some patients that aren't able to leave their house. And often the primary care physician is kind of the gateway into getting people referrals to occupational therapy or things like that.
Let me see if I understand this. So the assumption is that if you call 911 4 or 5 times, that there's some other underlying problem.
There's an unmet need.
Unmet need.
Yes.
And that's what triggers this.
Correct.
And you're trying to figure out what that unmet need is.
Correct. Because often our job typically is you call 911, we take you to the hospital. Well, in a lot of situations that are non-emergent, we're not really doing our patients any favors or doing them a service by taking them to the emergency department, where that's not really the place to mitigate what their issue is. So when we go and do home visits, we can also assist with medication reconciliation. We have a lot of patients that have 20 different medications from 3 different physicians, and sometimes those medications interact. And so we have a system that we can organize those and better educate our seniors in what medications they're taking and what they might not need to be taking. We also have connections with different senior centers. We have resources for dementia and Alzheimer's, so if there's family members with loved ones that are looking for some assistance, we can connect them with those kind of resources.
Well, I'd like to get into that a little bit more, but before we do that, do you have an example of somebody who you've worked with?
Absolutely. Yes. So one of our recent clients or patients, as we like to refer to them as, was calling 911 almost daily for anxiety type issues, and he would be transported to the emergency department, and they wouldn't be able to do anything for him because that's not how emergency departments are set up. They don't, do continuing care, and so we contacted him and asked if we could come to his home, which we did. And we were able to get him connected with Meals on Wheels, and we were able to connect him to a primary care physician so he could in turn get some behavioral health, mental health type help to manage his anxiety. And we also did a home safety check. His home there was many aspects of his home that were not safe in the event of a fire, and so we installed 4 smoke detectors, some carbon monoxide detectors.
That's terrific.
Yeah, we were really, it was a really good case, and we're still actively involved with him. And the key to this program is that we do a lot of follow-up. And so once you're in our program, you're always in our program. We will always follow you at some level, whether that's a weekly phone call or a monthly visit to see you in your home, just to make sure that things are moving along even after we connect you with whatever resources that they need to be connected to.
So before we forget, if somebody wants to call you, is there a place that they could call to find out more about this?
Yes, so we have a hotline number that somebody should always be available, at least during normal business hours for now, and we will get back to them within 24 hours if they have questions. Would you like the number?
Yeah, yes.
It's 240-777-2200.
Now, you mentioned earlier dementia. There's a new effort, new program regarding that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so Montgomery County has adopted the Dementia Friendly Initiative. And the goal of this program is to have every sector of our county government, public or private, have some element of being dementia friendly to our folks with dementia and Alzheimer's. And so our public safety sector, which we have partnered with the Montgomery County Police, they have a really strong Alzheimer's dementia outreach program. And so what we were able to do with them is to kind of tag on to what they're already doing. So we have this little magnet, so it goes on the refrigerator, and this is a card with basic information front and back on who you can contact if there's a family member that needs more information. And then on the inside, they can already fill out general information about their loved one, and this is the information that the police are going to ask for in the event that their loved one has wandered off. And so it's already filled out. They don't have to worry about trying to think clearly when they're worried, and they can just hand this to the police. And so what we'll do, we have that. Oh, and then also we have a bracelet, and so they can write the name of their loved one and a phone number, because oftentimes the police are the ones that find the person who's wandered off, sometimes before the family has even noticed that they're gone. And so this ties in really nicely with our file of life.
That you've had for some time,
Yes.
for everybody to.
Yes.
I have one of those.
Great, that's wonderful. We hope that every senior in Montgomery County has one of these. And so what this also goes on your refrigerator. It's got some contact information for the Department of Aging, and then you can fill out medical history, medications that you're taking, contact information, anything that the paramedics are going to need when we come to your house in the event that you're unconscious or you can't breathe or you're not able to communicate with us. So this is really important. And our dementia-friendly information can just tie in really nicely onto the refrigerator, and it's all in one place.
Terrific. We're out of time, but thank you so much for coming in. It's
Thank you
a
for
wonderful
having me.
initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
When we return, we'll explore the rich historical heritage of Montgomery County, so please stay with us. We'll be right back.
down here. You illegally passed the stop school bus. I'm placing you in timeout, and this timeout means big fines, plus you really could have hurt somebody. That's why school buses are being equipped with video cameras to help kids like me stay safe, so respect the bus.
The pain will not control us. It will never break us, define us, or keep us still. Because arthritis can't beat us if we beat it first. In the fight against arthritis, you need a weapon. What's yours? Visit the Arthritis Foundation at fightarthritispain.org.
Be active, Montgomery. Be active. Be active, Montgomery. Be active, Montgomery. Be active, Montgomery.
Welcome back to Seniors Today. The Heritage Tourism Alliance of Montgomery County, known as Heritage Montgomery, is dedicated to supporting heritage tourism at historical, natural, and cultural areas in Montgomery County. And joining me to tell us more is the Executive Director of Heritage Montgomery, Sarah Rogers. Well, welcome back.
Thank you, Austin. It's great to be back.
And you have a big event this year.
We have a huge event. It's our 20th annual Heritage Days
congratulations.
event. So 20 years. It's been quite a success.
And that's coming right up.
Yes.
It's what, June?
June 24th and 25th, that weekend. We have over 40 sites, parks and museums from large to small, open all over the county.
Wow.
With lots of stuff to do.
So these sites are open most of the year as well.
Some of them are. Things like the C&O Canal Towpath, the historical societies, but some of the smaller ones like the one-room schoolhouses and some of the like Oakley Cabin is over in Brookville, and they're only open once or twice a month.
I see. And these are all free during those 2 days?
Absolutely free.
So that's a good deal.
Yes, it's a very good deal.
So is there something, a highlight or special this year?
This year is special not only because it's our 20th, but because we're rolling out a project that Heritage Montgomery has been working on for the last year, which is the African American Heritage Foodways of Montgomery County. And so that cookbook will be available for sale, the revenues going back into some of the historic communities to help preserve things. And so there's good food. I've tested some of the recipes.
Oh, really? So there's going to be food available in various places?
There will be food, particularly at Button Farm. We have
Button Farm.
Button Farm. People that were named actually Button had the farm. And it shows life around the 1850s. They have heirloom animals, chickens and pigs, and we have a nationally known chef that's going to be doing demonstrations.
Where is Button Farm?
It's about 5 minutes off 270. It's just outside Seneca Park, Black Rock, that area.
So, I mean, there are things also like the Underground Railroad that's part of it.
Yes, and that's a very popular tour that Maryland National Capital Park and Planning and Montgomery Parks do, which is a hike that's fascinating. It shows, we have a great deal of Underground Railroad history here in the county, but this is just a trail that shows and asks questions of, what would you do if you were escaping, maybe in the middle of the night, going through land that you had never seen before? How would you eat? How would you find shelter? And these, the tours leave from Woodlawn Barn, which was something that opened this year that we're very proud of here in the county. It's a great museum.
So you have a website. You want to?
We do. It's heritagemontgomery.org, and that's where you can find this brochure.
You have a great brochure there. Yes.
Thank you. My carrots
Yeah.
this year.
And that'll tell. That's where everything is. This, if you want in June to go to. There's so many different places.
Yes, and it tells who has. Most sites have special programming, a lot of kids' activities, crafts, games, scavenger
Some
hunts.
specifically on Saturday, some on Sunday.
Yes,
so
and there's a map in the brochure and a list of the sites and what is offered at those sites.
So
And
for kids, there's something special too. Isn't
tons of stuff.
That's
Yes.
that's so great. And you have a phone number as well?
We do. It's 301-515-0753.
So there are also a lot of museums that there's.
Yes, Gaithersburg Museum is one, an award-winning museum that'll be open, where they've got trains, they've got a train station, and they also have the International Latitude Observatory will be open,
Oh wow.
which was a big point of science many years ago.
So there's outdoors and indoors.
Outdoors, indoors.
And food.
And food, and we've got new partners. Tacoma Park is going to do a wonderful program. The Isaac Walton group up in Poolesville is going to have fishing and hikes and all kinds of outdoor stuff up there.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
You mentioned to me earlier that you also have opportunities for volunteers to work throughout the year, I guess.
Yes.
What are you doing what?
Well, we have so many different things that somebody that's looking for a place to volunteer for a day a week, once a month, whatever, should give us a call. We have historic sites, we have natural sites, we have cultural sites. We have old houses, we have gardens, we've got tons of things.
Lots of places and lots of things to do.
Yeah, for somebody who's interested.
Well, it sounds like a big happening, June 24th and 25th.
Yes, sir.
And inside or outside, and food.
Yes, everything, and free.
And free. What more could one want?
That's true.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And good luck on the big days.
Good, hope to see you out there.
Right. Well, that's it for this month's Seniors Today. Don't forget that you can access a great deal of information about county services for seniors by going to the Montgomery County Senior website at www.montgomerycountymd.gov/seniors or call the Senior Resource Line at 240-777-3000. And as always, thank you for watching Seniors Today.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making Home Affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help,